Hello and welcome, as today is the 7th day of April 2019. My name is Derek, and all bets trades and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. Go through a few markets and then do another one of those buy low, sell high at the end of this video. Within Bitcoin, we can see it's had a break above this 18 average of highs after it was stuck in this area with 6,000 support, resisting on a descending triangle pattern. When it broke down, one leg lower, a little north of 3,000. And a lot of these periods, just low volatility, just grinding its way up in a obvious uptrend line. And it broke that resistance or the rate of ascent at a large breakout, a statement move, attempt to revert the trend, as most certainly these several periods barely going higher was enough for stage one band flatten out. So this is now at least enough of a move, regardless of where it goes, whether the top is in the area of 5,000 now, or goes to what you would think is a more projected level, which is in the area of around 6,000, a little higher. That's an area for which it came from, as well as a key Fibonacci level. And looking at those Fib levels, what they are is the high divided by the low to the root of, or the exponent, which is I think the same, of the Fibonacci percentages: 61.8, 38.2, 23.6, 15.4, and so on and so forth. So the question is, how was resistance and how did each level play through, starting with the first one? And that's the question here: was there resistance on the first level? We can see that no, we don't see it here. Maybe short term intra move there might have been, but we don't see it here. We can see that intra move after that there was support here, because this period got well above it, and then the low was right below that line. So the question here: was there resistance at this level? Again, intra move we see no, but on this candle it went up, came back again, and found support on it. And then did this level find resistance? And in multiple occasions, yes. Support here, and then resistance here. And then it's unable to support this level, thus it resists it, finds support here, resists here, supports here. And then it's a failed breakdown here where it resists this Fibonacci line, but it managed to come up, resist this line again, go sideways, break out above right to this line, which has been resistance before. It was again. And then it supports this line on two occasions, resist near it, and then resist at it in here. And then it goes up. So do we see resistance at 4,841? No. Resistance means stop going higher, and it didn't stop going higher at that point. Do we see support on this level? Yes, for the intra move, and most certainly these 2 days here. But there hasn't been support today, yesterday, or the day before, as we are seeing the uptrend line like we noticed on the weekly, which was what this was, into position in here. And therefore, if this just keeps going, I'm going to validate this as a fast move to next level, because it's probably going to make its move up towards its next key point of around $6,342. Looking at this amongst the short-term time frame, we can see here was the resistance above this line, pulled back, and then when it got above this, since that point, it has stayed above it ever since, with two times, once here and again here, finding support at that level that was supposed to be resistance. Obviously, it's not like, in fact, so it's supposed to be resistance some amount of time, and if it's not resistance, are we seeing support here? The answer right now is yes. And we can see a short right in here that this, well, since this move where it broke above in here, which established this resistance in here, that it's hanging in there within this point for the last little bit, keeping the higher lows very much intact within this market. So therefore, the setup or the status is, if we don't find resistance here, and we either A, find support at this mark or have the fast move, then our next target level is 63.41. And the same thing on every single point. Okay, where are we going to find resistance, yes or no? I think this one's a more strong case to be so compared to this one here, because this was lacking any type of price history on the way down, where 6300 is most certainly not doing such. And this is a 23.6, this is a 38.2. I would normally give more precedence to those the 38 and the 61. Next up is Litecoin, which is up to 92.79. And I have not shown here key Fibonacci at 125. So it does look as if I wouldn't be surprised if that area matches in the area with the 6,000 point, where this will go up to like 125, 130, 134. So we'll see what happens. But right now, ever since its breakout in here for the 2-day move up, it has done a good job in grinding its way higher without having really any price corrections down, very similar to Bitcoin. That from the move, we have the support, we have it again on a higher low, higher one here, and since then is just maintaining itself for every period since it moved back in here, which was 4 p.m. yesterday, in the correctionary phase, which is really that of an uptrend. And generally, these correctionary moves resolve themselves in the path of least resistance, or the current trend, and that is obviously to the upside right now. And getting above in these higher areas gives very, very strong signals for that to be a nice leg higher, breaking the 100. I didn't think there would be much resistance on the way up, and if it does have a fast move, and only if it has a fast move above it and is able to have hold and stay above it, or a key leg higher, then no, that's the only thing that can be, because if this goes down, resistance is 100. And if this just keeps going sideways for enough time, well, that's correcting through time. So therefore, if this is not going to correct either through that from price or through time, the move higher would be coming pretty much on this next break of resistance, and you'd have to think today, tomorrow. Although when you look at it on the weekly chart, that would be, you'd have more time on what you'd consider a fast move. But yes, going into this little previous congestion area, and 125 is that actual Fibonacci number. They usually pierce extra, and 145 is a conservative pierce above 125 within this volatility. Okay, let's take a look at some top losers and gainers. I just see now that Feathercoin is pumping, and it wasn't doing so before I started this video. Let's see, it's up 70% right now, and I think it's just happening. Within the weekly chart, it has been in a very, very long decline. Was 300, is now 736. It was 3,500 back here. Okay, well, let's see how short this move is. On the daily chart, it's a big move today. Wow. I mean, technical analysis, I guess you could say. I don't look at every coin, but this is why I like the 18. That's the only indicator I need. Volume can help in here too, but especially when you see this, okay, big volume came in here, this follow through. But this move established this resistance. But what's important when you have a move from this downtrend that preceded it is to make sure the 18 holds. And its first correctionary move didn't go anywhere near such. Its second one did. And then it has a pierce above this, but a matching high to here. And following after that, we can see how well it corrects with the lows, how it showed the strength amongst this here, and it broke resistance, and it just went. So what we're going to do is I'm going to draw a line amongst what that key level is, see how fast it broke it going above it. And again, when did this happen? It technically broke it literally last period, which was over 2.5 hours ago. And it was going in the previous hour as well. It's now been 2 hours, with the next one, with this one 16 minutes left, so this is 45 minutes plus what happened before. 15-minute time frame. When these things go fast, I mean, that's what's happening here. 5 minute, just from this 1020 low at 548. It's been a relentlessly amazing move, and when you see it here, it's tough to, I mean, this thing could just, it's live for like, who knows what could happen here. We could have continuous moves like this. This thing can go to 850 in like 2 minutes. This thing could fall back down to 600 in 2 minutes. It's just the wild volatility we have on the crypto space. It was iHouse token that I was planning on showing because it was the biggest winner before I did this. And we'll go on to, has Hit BTC got a bigger exchange? Why is it up top? I usually notice that. Well, that one's on top. Well, that one's a bigger exchange, and I would be surprised if Hit BTC was. When you got moves like this, this is 228 up to 1400, now down to 777, the slot machine number, as I call it, and other people call it as well. In fact, I call it because other people call it that. Single hour term, you just break above this level of resistance. We can see in here as this point came in, we have this level of 419 established here, established here. Now you're consolidating time there. Now it's a break above. Now you're consolidating that move, and you're just going. That's just how it works. And so far successfully moving within this band. A rally could be both bullish and bearish here, in the sense that I've seen oftentimes if this is a high, there's going to be always that one failed attempt beforehand, which would be a lower high in here, maybe conservatively 930, but up to 1137. But that doesn't mean it just can't leave the band and go lower from this point here. I'm not going to make any type of trade within this, but the lower known, the less volume, less market cap coins that are out there, the bigger moves you are generally going to be getting. Let's take a look at one of the other winners, which is BankX, and on the 15-minute time frame, showing a lot of volatility, a symmetrical triangle with the higher lows and the lower highs. And on its daily term time frame, really a very, very, very interesting setup in here, as we were in this long decline, markets going lower, stage one, band flatten out. So there we have stage one. It's up to you if you want to count that. That's a pretty decent leg higher. But if we do, what we've seen here was a lot of correctionary time, strength amongst the 18 for a bit, highs, a test on the lows, and there we can see. This tells us right now that at least the test of the lows was at least exceeded within this move. Selling opportunities, if you had a sell order at 495, buy back at 350 is obviously a good play, most times than not. This is where we were seeing strength amongst the 18 average of highs. And there we have it. It just has a phenomenal move. Supporting this area right now as far as these moves in here, higher volatility. That volatility has not gone away. In fact, it's actually increased over the last 4 days or so, although this was a very volatile day on April the 2nd. Now when you see a move like this, we supported the 18, came back to where you came from. It's had many tests above it. I want to see it hold and stay above this area of the 18 highs and previous level where it came from, 495 ballpark area. But definitely something that could have the potential to continue going. And when I see a loser, usually losers are markets that are pulling back. Well, the first one I looked at, the only one that I looked at for the top losers, was not the case. And that coin is Golos. And it's been around for a while. And there we have it. Big decline. From 250 down to 106. It was as low in the session of 69. So looking at the 1 hour term, this was just a continuous move in here. What else is there to say? Well, let's take a look at the more of its periods. Again, the daily's been going down, the weekly. This was a coin in here that was 6,100 Satoshi during its 2017 highs. It was at 10,000 when it started. Major support here first was around 12,000. And then it had a little bit here at 11, or 1,200 rather. Okay, we have support here about 800. So throw that number aside. And then it comes down to 5. And then it finds the support at 178. This is just a market where if you try to buy low, sell high, there's just way too many down periods and down moves that even if you started back here when it was, maybe you'd be up if you started back down here. But this is one of the ones where if it just goes straight down like this, it's just very costly and very much part of your risk in playing a lot of these coins. Now, whether this will end up being good or a good buy now, time will only tell. Basically, I think after a decline like this, it's either a great spot for a rally or it's on its way to nothing, and probably relatively soon. Okay, let's go to EXCL as the last one. This was one that was mentioned by Chris Daniels, and it's got some volatility. It's most certainly in this long downtrend. I mean, it's just been going down like the last one, although we were... Okay. I guess this is, and I don't guess, I know, this is the one where the log scale doesn't do justice. 118. Back in here. This is like 100 even. What's the low in here? Yeah, 100. Up to 7,000. Down to, or 70,000 down to 3,700. Yeah, extreme volatility. Let's cross it up with another one of extreme volatility at NXT and see how the game gets played. Just by selling and owning both coins and selling them back and forth. So we're going to do, I got the data in here. We're going to just choose prices, and I want to use a strategy of gaining the EXCL coins over that of NXT. Just NXT as a measure to get as many as I can. I want to bring its number up as possible, but I also want to make sure that I get the most gains on that particular coin. With the price ratio at 4.55 to start, let's look for some aggressive moves. Maybe a price point to go under 2.8. That's why I put the lowest price in. That's where I would buy essentially on a market of this price. And then maybe for a price high move of 750. So therefore I'm going to put the price in here. It's almost like a short bet if you look at it. 7997. That's sell. And this one I'm going to push 4 to sell the EXCL, which I'd start with 455. Maybe I'll do something in the area of like say 65. And by the way, that's the wrong one. It's sell NXT is what I would do. Okay. First time doing this program today. Let's do 20% of that. So let's do 20 NXT. And that would get us 158. And then 20. Price goes up the next day at 3%. I can push enter, see it goes down 9, see it goes up 7, but it's faster for me to do this. Let's go for 4.25 up and say 14.5, or down and 14.5 up. So we'll make a trade at 15.42. And how many do we want to sell from having 80? That's 25 maybe, because I mean that's better than a double price, and 25 isn't even half. So 25 gets turned into 383. And then it's up 25% again, but let's look for better prices than that. Let's look for a buy at say 825, maybe go 26.25. And it goes down to 7, so I can fill this order here at 7.7. I want to gain as many EXCLs as possible, so I would normally be pushing 4 now to sell, so therefore let me push 1 to buy NXT because I sold 25 of them. If I just do a small number but something bigger like say 31, I would only have to spend 240 of the 383 I bought before. So let's do it that way. And now it's either complete this order or make a new sell order. So if we're going to complete that order, last trade was 8 for that. Let's look at maybe 4.15. And on the way up, maybe go 13 and a third. And it goes up to that 13 mark. So that's, again, sell some NXT. We sold 25, got back 31. So let's go maybe 28. Get 374. Okay, so the buyback on 13, we can go maybe 7.11, and doubling that's about 27. So let's break 25. We'll get this buyback here. So 6.28, and in here we're going to want to normally it's sell NXT, AXL, but I'm going to rather buy NXT, which is the same thing. It's just I'm asking how many of them I want to buy. And after selling 28, let's just go like 33 this time, 208. So that's a very good gain again. So I want to gain a little bit of the NXT just to have power to be able to sell them later on when it's time to liquidate them. So let's go to the next price again. We're on day number 260 now. So you would have spent closer to a full year than no year, which I don't know if that makes sense or not. Either way, with the last trade at 6.28 and looking to buy that back, let's go maybe a little under half off, say 375. And if it goes back up, let's sell at 13. And let's do a sell at 14. Actually, put the right number. Okay, so therefore, again, I'll do the sell on 2. Might as well just keep on making these numbers go up a bit more. I could almost get away with doing 31 again. And just, you can see how the numbers are slowly going higher this way. This way, if it goes in a range-bound market forever, I'm fine with this. Just keep on doing this. I know it doesn't do it, but if it does, I'll take the profits that way if that's what presents itself. Then it goes up to 18 again, but we'll look to buy that back maybe at about 7.5 or sell at 25. So we're getting a bunch of these. They're nice to get. So with this rate, maybe go 36. I'm getting large numbers of these ZXCLs every single time. Okay, we'll keep on doing the same sort of deal with the $8, either fill this or another new sell. So let's go half off for that buy, and maybe for the sell, doubling 7.25 is 14.5. So let's go 13.75. And what a big move this is. Higher than it was before. Maybe I want to sell a little bit now, more. So therefore, let's go sell NXT. Let's sell everything we bought before. So we'll go 36. And this time we're getting 651 on this exchange. Okay, so what's the next price? Well, half off of 18 would be 9. And I wouldn't mind a little more, especially with the last buy. So maybe even 8.50, because then after that I'd be looking to get the $8 short back, if you will. And let's look for a price increase. I don't think I need to go double because I'm just happy to get whatever. So 30, and that's what happens. So therefore, definitely don't want to sell half, but maybe a third or 20 of them. I mean, 20 still gives me over 600 of them. Okay, so let's think of this. Let's do like a little under half, like 40-something% down, or a rise up to say 49. So we have 12 point. I mean, I can even buy the other one back for whatever move, but still, this is a very good buyback. So that's we sold 20. If I could go for a 50% gain and probably get like, yeah, a lot less of these. So I gained 603. In this scenario, I gained 371. And I actually still gained 10 for more buying power of the EXCL later on. And now this goes up 90.14%. So, I mean, heck, why not? So of the 30 that we bought, if we sell 25, which means we keep 5 of those for possible larger orders later. And we got this one in. So we have 2 of these we got to fulfill. So now on day 523 with our current price in at 21.6, last trade at 23. Let's look for a I mean, when these things go down, they should be going down pretty good. We've generally been buying all these times at 6 and 7. So I'm going to even go like 11. And then on the way up, I mean, doubling, I don't think I need to, but I think go for good gains nonetheless, 38. Okay. I mean, these are like jackpot days kind of deal when they happen. 82.64% down. Okay, it is what it is. Within such, you had a trade of this where you had 25 NXT for 578. How many of the 578 do we have to even get rid of here? Well, let's buy our NXT. And I could literally go for 100 here and think that's going to be fine just to pick up the inventory. I don't even... Let's go triple, 75. See, in this trade, 25 of them turns into 75. And that gives me a lot of weapons, considering I had 45 before. And it's costing me almost 300 when I got 578 on the reverse trade. Now, yeah, no, you could just be filling this one in too. And I technically would have to be a little fancy to do it. But I'm going to wait one day, and as long as the price doesn't have a major increase, and I don't remember if it did or not, I'll fulfill that transaction next. So let's do that. So 3.84. So there was 36. Not as great of a gain from the 23 sale. But if I go, say, 50, which would bring me from 120 to 170, it would only cost me 193 here. And again, I'm trying to make as many of those EXCLs as I can. And when they go really high against Bitcoin and the dollar, that's when you really want to liquidate them, which we're not doing in this example. At least that's what I would want to. So now it's about fulfilling this short here or starting a new chain up top. So let's now work towards buying that at, say, 260. And I really wouldn't mind a big pop, close to 10 even. Okay, so that didn't happen on the pop, but 256 here. Everything that we bought and traded has now got fulfillment to it. So in this case here, this is going to be buying NXT as it goes down. If I buy, say, 40, which is double than what I had, it would only cost me 103. And all of these trades, I'm just going to go like this, maybe scroll down a bit, paste them here. They're all completed, and I can just start new chains from here on in. So let's go to the next price. We were at 256 before, so let's work on that pretty much half off, or go maybe 4 4/9, and it goes to 556. And we want to sell the NXT. We've accumulated a lot to go to 210. So let's keep the aggressiveness going. Let's go like, I mean, half is 100, but I kind of wouldn't mind keeping a bit back so I can get major trades later. So I'd probably go about 60, and adding 330 to what is under 2,000 is not that bad of a deal. And let's wait for the next price again. We had, of course, a 556 sell. Buy that back. I'm liking this half off kind of deal, especially when these coins are so wild. Let's go 2 1/3. And let's try to sell it at $9.99. Okay, so we get this filled at 212. If we say look to buy 90, which is 30 more, which would bring it from 150 to 240, it would only cost 192. So let's do that. Even 193 it cost with the rounding. Down 28%, but I want more than that. Let's break under the one number, or go 395 up. So it does go under one. So let's put the buy in here, and let's 20% is, let's, how about, what would 60 cost? Is it like nothing? Big time. Am I doing this right? I think so. Yeah. Okay, if we sell 200 of these, yeah, that's right. So let's do that, 200 for 200. And then it goes up to that. And you know what? Sometimes I'd make the trade. I just want to really end this video and get the aggressive plays in doing such. So that's because it's had such huge moves, and my buy before was 212. Let's do 233. Okay, 29.8 cents. Day 64.55. Okay, so how many of these do we want to sell? Maybe up the ante to 450 and get 1,500 of them. And it goes up to 7. Let's just complete it the next day. And these are the type of moves you're going to be more apt to getting when you put these types of coins together. So in such, we are going to, and I'm just going to make this the last one because you get the point at this stage. And these numbers will just continue doing what you see doing, and that's just like amazing increases. So then, we have the NXT sell. You had 1,500 before. If you sold more than half, like 900 of it, 60%, you'd go from 1,400 to 688. And then you make the trade. So here we have 1,000 of these coins and 2,100. Now, I started off with you like a few hundred. Your original trades was trading 20 and 40. And now we can just see how these numbers are, I guess I can do a few more, are just escalating even further. So from 0.77, let's do 0.3, let's do 155, it goes to 169, which is not the greatest of gains, because technically I'm filling this one out. So let's redo it again. Let's do 0.33 and 225. And it doesn't even hit that. I should have taken the sell, 18.3 here. So maybe you're in a spot where you want to figure, okay, I mean, literally going from 77 to 18. Even selling half is an aggressive play, but you kind of don't even need to. But let's give it the shot of close to it, like say 950. Because the stakes are changing when you see this happening. So I think it might be worth doing a few more periods. And there we go to 34. But again, you're like, okay, here we have a spot where you sold at 77. You just want to play, I feel you say to yourself, I can get these big moves. I can even go like 7.5, better than half off, but If I was selling at 77 before, I don't mind selling lower high, which is why I'm going to pick like 65 cents. And it goes down even further to 6.3. Okay. So that's, again, that's a third off. Big moves. Let's say, now 500. Last time I got 5,000 on 950. Now I'm getting 7,800. I might even want to sell. I mean, I don't want to sell these EXL because I want to accumulate them. But I want to accumulate the NXT so that I can get them back at such higher amounts. But one of my risks by playing two coins together is if one coin just can't handle the game anymore and it pretty much goes to nothing. And then you can see how I'll just get a whole whack of the other coins at the cost of the ones that I'm trying to accumulate. But when you see now I got like thousands of them on this order. So now we came from 6 cents, let's go like 2. Maybe you want to go for a sell at 15. So there we have it. So let's go 0.163. Let's sell them, some of them. We had bought 9,000 before. What would 3,500 do? We have 585. We would gain. That's pretty much a double, so sure. But we lost 600 EXL to do it in the first place. It's an aggressive play to sell less. So that's again, let's sell NXT. Let's do 6,000 now. See, now we gain 300 of these. Yes, I have to pay more than half of what I own. But again, that's a plus 370. Okay, so the last buy at 16, let's go 0.05. Fill up this buy here, which was at 18, so maybe go 0.4, which is what we'll complete, so 0.407. And how many of these 5,000 do we want to sell? Maybe 4,000. I mean, that's a gain of over almost 700. And of course the 1,500 NXT. So let's continue. For the low volatile moves or high volatile moves, we can see buy at 6, sell at 16, sell at 40. Well, you know what? I like that. And if this is just going to go down, why don't we just pick like really low, like 13 or even 12.5? And then like I don't need to go double here because if this is a bear market, okay, 89.7, which technically we have this one here. But you know what? I can even just throw one in here because I don't want to complete this one. But I'll put a new one in. And how many of these NXT do I want to sell? Well, I have 5,000 of them, and this is almost not even worth doing anymore at these stakes. When you're talking about 200, I mean, who cares about 200? So therefore, we have 5,000, and at the 40 number, we sold 4,000 of them. If we do, say, 2,400, that would get us 2,100. That's a very good gain. Okay, let's look to buy really, really cheap, like 36 even. And I mean, again, this is just not even worth completing anymore because the stakes are so much higher. So let's go 169. And we complete this here, so 335. How many NXT after selling 2,100 do we want to buy? What would 2,600 do? You figure, you go from 32 to 58. That's a great gain. And it only cost you 870 of your 5,000 to do it. That to me is how I'd want to play it. If, of course, that was one of the coins I was trying to get. In this case, the example of the EXCL. Okay, so from 33, if it's been going down a lot, what's the lowest we've bought at? 6? Let's go 12. Sell at, say, 0.79. It goes to 8. So how many of these 4,000 do we want to do? 1,000. How many would that get us? 11,000. We own 5. I don't even think we need to do that. So let's just do 750, which would well better than double. That's, and then again, if I can execute it back over again, I mean, this compounded gains that you can get from this could be just magnificent. Okay, let's do 0.03 to the buy, 0.15 to sell, and we get this. And there we go. There's the trade back at almost double the price. So of the 8,800, if I want to sell, like, say, 65 of them off, keeping over 2,000, I would end up gaining over 250, closer to 300 of the EXCLs. So yeah, not bad. And I guess it's only day 900. This goes to like day 1600. So yeah, I'm going to complete this. Because what's going to end up happening if you do it successfully is we started off in the hundreds, now we have thousands, 8,000, 4,000. So this next will go into tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. So when you're doing this, and if the coins go down like on average 65%, 75% each, you're way up. Because if you can go like 100x on the amount of coins you own and they go down 10x on average, then you're up about 10x. And again, it's just a matter of division. There is not, I don't even know if there was anybody before I even thought about this, about putting EXCL and NXT together. And it really wouldn't matter for the most part what I took. I just took something that started before EXCL that I haven't touched yet. So, oh, NXT I looked at. Yeah, let's just take that. I know it's volatile. And the more volatile moves you get, well, the greater the plays. If you were doing these trade whatever 2 coins with Feathercoin today, and then, okay, you're selling Feathercoin, you're buying whatever other coin it is that you're trading it with. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.